Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. I want to say a couple of things before we get started. First of all, thank you so much for joining me a couple of days after this finale aired and for being patient with me while I was away. A couple of people asked me if I could do a live chat, even though I usually do these on Fridays. And I really appreciate that you still are here, even though it's Tuesday, so we can talk about the finale, because I think it would be terrible if we didn't talk about the finale as a group. I'm going to have a video up tomorrow, but I love being able to chat with you guys, see what you guys thought. So it makes me happy that we're able to do this and that so many of you are here. That makes me so happy. And secondly, I just wanted to say that it's kind of a somber day because of the events that happened in Belgium, and my thoughts and prayers are with everyone who was affected by that event. And I hope that none of you had anyone in your family or friends who were affected by that incident. But I just thought that I should mention it because anytime something like that happens, it's very disturbing to me, as I know it is to you. And I just want this stuff to stop because it, even though I live in the US, I feel like all of you guys are my family, and it makes me so sad that this kind of stuff is happening across the world, and I just want it to be a peaceful place where we all feel safe. So let's get into the show now. I was happy with the finale. I know a couple people tweeted me saying they weren't shocked enough, and I guess I should say that maybe the first half of season 2, that finale to me was probably better because the ending scene was just epic and shocking and crazy. So this one, I thought we got a pretty good ending, a pretty unexpected ending, in my opinion. But and I'm like an oracle. Thank you. Not only because I predicted the Caleb stuff. You guys, this is so crazy to me. Like, I was watching it kind of freaking out because you remember when we had this conversation about Philip, and I don't remember who said it, but if you're here, go ahead and tell me so I can give you all the credit. And someone was like, I bet she had a conversation with Philip when he was like trying to attack her in Wes's apartment. And now we know that he really wasn't trying to attack her. We were right all along. He was just trying to give her information that was very important to let her know that Caleb was the real serial killer. I couldn't figure out how to piece it all together and figure out how he was the serial killer, but we now know it's tied to his fitness tracker, and he was just a freaky, creepy guy, and the stuff that was going on with him and Catherine was disgusting, even though they're not actual, like, blood relatives. So, I liked it. I liked the part with Frank. I don't like it, but now we know why he owed Sam. We know that the thing, like a lot of you called, the accident with Annalise, the car accident, was not an accident. Oh, and something else that I don't know if you know, because if you don't follow me on Twitter, that you don't know, but I got a great surprise last week because the official How to Get Away with Murder ABC Twitter account started following me, and I got it in my notifications, and I was like, well, maybe this is like a fan account or something. So I looked it up, and it was actually the real account, and they only follow like 160 something people. I don't know why they follow me, but I'm very, very honored, as small as that is, that they're following me, because this is really my favorite show. And that was like a big deal for me. That was like a day maker. So I'm going to go through your comments now. And Louise brings up a point, and another point that I thought of that it kind of ties to something that I wanted to talk to you about. So Louise doesn't know if the Annalise and Philip story is all true. Do I think it is? I do think it is, but I had a thought, and a couple of you talked to me about this kind of thing, asking me, and I was like, I don't know at the time. And then I think it was Why Our Name's Important that was asking me, like, do I think that Caleb really killed himself, or is he pretending, or what the deal is with that? Now, because we've watched this show for a while, we kind of know that when they close out a season, they usually don't go back to their main mystery, like hardcore, because if you remember, Lila was the main mystery of season 1, and they really haven't gone back to that, but they sort of do in flashback. So I think that maybe some of this stuff with the Half-Stalls will carry over with flashback material, but I don't think we'll spend a great deal of season 3 trying to, do a lot of stuff with that case. So I started thinking that maybe he didn't kill himself, maybe he was pretending, or maybe someone killed him, but I don't know if they're going to really delve that far into it and make something bigger out of that. That's just kind of what I thought. And thank you. Why Our Name's Important says, Pete, no walk confirmed that Caleb did kill himself. So I think knowing that information right there, yeah, Caleb was in the bathtub with all the blood. Louise, what were you doing? Like, that was real. That was like right there in your face. But anyway, yeah, I think now that we have that confirmation, thank you so much. I think that storyline's over. I don't think we're going to have Catherine as a character, and I think it's pretty much over, or Philip. Okay, so Mark says, when Laurel was in Frank's apartment at the end, I totally thought she was going to find him. I did too. I was very concerned. I thought he was going to be hanging in the closet or something. I don't really wish that he had been dead. Now, Mark is saying I wish they had gone there, but the other hand, the other half of that story is because he was missing. It seems most likely that he was the one who killed Wes's father because he has a lot of guilt for all of the stuff that happened that was his fault, for Annalise losing her baby. And he knows this guy is totally corrupt, and it was this man's fault as well because he planned for her to be hit. Probably he wanted Annalise to be killed. We're talking about the Mahoney guy. So anyway, yes, I don't want Frank to die. Gosh, I know he's not the best character in what he did. What we found out what he did here is really bad because he caused her to lose her baby. But you know what? I don't think he was that bad once upon a time. I think he's just gotten more and more corrupt. So Gilkai says the scene with Caleb in the bathtub filled with blood was disturbing. It was. I'm not sure if he slit his wrist. That's kind of what I'm feeling happened. Maybe he shot himself and we didn't see the gun. Pretty disgusting. So Tony says the question that he has is if Frank is part of the mob and hold on a second. Then why would it be such a big deal for him to kill Lila? Perhaps a relation to Frank, like an eye for an eye. Well, I don't really know if he's in the mob now. I think, at one point he was just a guy who was down on his luck and Sam, hired him and helped him out. And now he has kind of gotten accustomed to doing things that aren't so great. But I think he was wanting to turn around because he was in love with Laurel and he wanted to do the right thing. But now everything has kind of gone crazy about that because Annalise has found out that he killed Lila, and she realizes that, well, I wanted to ask you guys this. Does she understand that he is the reason for her being in that accident and her losing the baby? Because we know now that Sam absolutely knew because he went and told Sam. You guys are awesome. There are so many comments. As always, or if you're new here, if I don't see your comment or I miss it, just comment again because I start talking, the comments scroll by, I miss them sometimes, never intentional. So yes, Marge, Annalise did tell Bonnie that Frank was fired. But I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I don't know what he was doing. But the only logical thing to me says that he was off killing Mr. Mahoney, but maybe that's way too easy. But who else would have been killing him? I don't know. So we saw Oliver be very shady. That was one part that I feel like my theory about Oliver being involved in all of this and being a bad guy was a little far out there, I'll be honest. But I was so hoping that he was. But we did get a very shady moment with him. As Vanessa pointed out, and if you follow Pete Nowak on Twitter, or the guy who plays Oliver, I'm so sorry I can't think of his name. I think it's Conrad something. If you guys are on Twitter, it's kind of cool to follow the cast because they kind of give sometimes insider information or info that you don't get from not following them. Or at first I was just following the How to Get Away with Murder account and it didn't tell me as much as the different cast members. So the live chat started at 6 o'clock, so you're just a couple minutes late, Steffi. Oliver pretended to be Connor and called, Stanford, after he was accepted into the college, and he told them that he didn't want to go to the college. So he turned down the college acceptance, and I don't know why. Now, he's probably going to get hired by Annalise. Obviously, it looks like we're going that way with him being cast as a series regular. So what is he doing? Is he just afraid that he's going to lose his boyfriend if, Connor moved away to another school? Is that what it's about? Like he thinks they'll break up if they do long distance or something? Connor Rickamora. Thank you. Thank you, Gokai. Or Conrad. I want to call him Connor. It's Conrad is the actual person who plays Oliver. Very good. Okay. Now, very good question, Louise. Did we find out who was sending those tapes of the Keating Five on the Sinclair night? Was it Caleb? Wait a second, though. Look at this. Think about this. Remember when someone was filming Michaela and Caleb having that conversation outside of the mansion and they sent that video? Who was that? Wasn't Catherine in jail at that time? I think that's your question right there. And that's a great point. Thank you so much for bringing that up because I hadn't actually thought about it since the finale. but there's an unanswered question, and you know that they will have to do some flashbacks about this season next season, and I think that's going to be something they will answer, because thankfully everything gets answered in this show. Stella asked, what's the deal with Laurel's dad? Not really sure. She made the comment to Frank that he knew her dad. I don't know if this guy was involved in the mob or whatever. I remember when she went home one time, it seemed like she was a pretty wealthy person with a wealthy family, so I'm not really sure. Mark says Jack Falahy, who plays Connor, favorited his tweet that Oliver sent the tape, so I totally thought it was him, but the cast confirmed in a video after the finale that it was Philip, which is ridiculous to me. You guys always find this information that somehow I don't. Like this extra information that answers stuff. That's awesome. Well, that doesn't make sense. So you're saying that Philip was the person blackmailing them for the money the entire time? Not you're saying, but that's what they're saying? I don't know. Annoying. I think I do follow. March is asking if I follow Matt McGorry. I'm a Matt McGorry fan because of Orange is the New Black. However, his role as Asher is very annoying. But Marge is asking if I follow that account because he posted a photo of a body covered up in a red blanket before the finale, and the body never turned up. Yes. Yes, I remember seeing that. Now, they did say 2 people dead, so our 2 people dead are Caleb and Mr. Mahoney. But maybe that was just kind of like either a scene that was cut or something to just kind of pique our interest, but we never actually saw it. Do I think, Chad says that it's Philip who, okay, thank you so much. So Philip, as you guys are telling me, was the one who recorded like Caleb and Michaela. I don't understand why he was asking for money though. Can someone explain? I know that Mahoney Sr. probably had a lot of enemies, Charles. I agree with you, but I don't think that they're going to make it a random person, because then why do we care? You know? Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. And welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here before. Thank you so much. Do I think that Frank and Laurel will get back together? I think it's a possibility. I really do think that they both actually love each other. So Tony follows Pete Nowalk on Twitter, and he's the best because he's honest, straightforward, as he can be with fans. I know. I'm a real fan of his Twitter account. So Mark says they said Philip sent the tapes to get money. Now, I think that is really stupid. I agree with you, because the actual characters thought it was him too. And we all thought that there was no way it could be, because that was just too easy. So what was the point of making it a mini mystery if they were right all along? I mean, that was stupid. And that's probably why they didn't come back and address it again. But thank goodness he wasn't the actual villain and Caleb was, because if he was the actual villain, then I would think I was watching a different show. So apparently there's a recap video that you guys can find. You want to tell us where we can go. We can't, unfortunately, put links in here because it won't let us. But for anybody who's interested, I know some of you have watched an interview, I guess, that explains kind of some of the stuff that we didn't understand. Now, for those of you kind of upset about the strong emphasis on Annalise's family, I thought that was a bit strange. They spent a lot of time at her mother's house with that type of family drama. Now, I wanted to ask you about her actual father. I thought that I remembered he abused her. Am I wrong? I know someone sexually abused her. Was that someone else? Because obviously she's on very bad terms with him. We know that her father and her mom are back together. I don't really care about that. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Of course, Nate comes to check on her, and there's a lot of stuff going on with that. And I don't know if they're trying to tell us that they're going to seriously get together next season, her and Nate, or what. So it was her uncle who raped her. So what was the deal with her dad? Like, what was so bad about him in her eyes? Okay, he just left when she was young. Thank you guys so much. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure her mom wouldn't take back a sexual abusive father, because then her mom would be like really off her rocker. March says Asher and Michaela hooking up bothered her last week, but this time it made me laugh. Well, I thought it was kind of bizarre sometimes the people they try to put together in this show, but it didn't even really happen in the finale. So yeah, it was kind of funny. So thank you so much for clearing that up about, because I was for a second thinking her dad wasn't the abusive one, right? But the family dynamic stuff to me was a little much, but I had faith that they were going to go somewhere with the finale and they weren't going to throw something crazy out like it was one of her family members who was the villain or whatever. But I think they were building that up for something next season, and I don't know what. I don't know if something's going to happen to her mom or whatever. I also think they wanted to make the point that, well, I mean, I didn't realize that her mom didn't even know that she had a child. That was a very dramatic scene with her burying a note to her baby who had died. And we learned that his name was Sam in honor of his father. And I think we also saw in some of the cast members were tweeting out that Sam, as much of a jerk as he ended up being, actually cared and very much loved Annalise at the time all that stuff was going down with her losing the baby. And the last thing he wanted was her to find out that someone had betrayed her that she trusted and ended up being the reason that her baby died. So I think that they wanted to show us a different side of Sam, really. And I kind of like how they do all these flashbacks with a person who is actually not even alive on the show. And I think she's having some guilt now that he's dead and Wes did it. And he, yes, he cheated on her. And yes, he asked someone to kill a pregnant person. So he's not great. But anyway, so here's a great question, Mark. Thank you so much. And first of all, before I answer that, Ben, thank you so much for being here. We have a screenshot. Somebody sent it to me. I can't remember who on Twitter. Sam had the word Hapstall on his notepad when he was talking to Bonnie in the episode before the finale. It really is there because there's a screenshot of it. Now, I don't know why. I thought that would definitely be addressed. However, they can still carry stuff over in the third season. If he ends up being, I don't know what that means. I don't think he's involved in the Mahoney side of it. Like, I don't think he wanted someone to kill Annalise or kill their baby. I don't know. Okay. Hi, Julie. Thank you so much for being here. But I don't know why they didn't address that. Like I said, I feel like quite a huge part of the finale was a little bit wasted on Annalise being at her mom's house. I really don't get why we had I can understand parts of it, but I feel like they spent half of the finale at her mom's house, to be honest, okay? So Steffi wonders if people will frame Wes for the death of his dad. Well, since it happened in a public place and obviously people saw it, I think it would be difficult because they're also going to be able to prove that he was shot from a long range. He wasn't shot, right up close like where Wes was. So Chad says that Pete said Bonnie was explaining to Annalise what Frank did in the hospital during the final flashback. I kind of got that impression after watching it a second time that now Annalise does understand exactly what Frank did. And I don't think she knew before this time. Tony says, I think Mahoney dying was payback for Wes killing Sam. I really think it totally makes sense that Frank will be the one who did this because he understands what these people did. They were trying to kill Annalise. That's probably their goal. They made her lose the baby. They kind of took advantage of him, even though he did make the decision. And to whoever said that the person he hooked up with in the episode before the finale was completely right, because that random woman wasn't random. She ended up being the person who was working for the Mahonies. What I love about this show is that things are just never random. Because of that, what is a mistake, Chad? I'm sorry. I lost part of your message. Pete said something's a filming mistake. But because of that, I think that someone important would be the person who killed Mahoney. So why our name's important says the producer confirmed that Cicely Tyson, who's a very famous actress who plays Annalise's mom, couldn't film any episodes into the finale, so they could only bring her in for the finale, and that's why we had the house scenes. Well, okay. They probably pay her a lot of money because she's a big name, and they needed to get her airtime in. Whatever. She's kind of little cuckoo, I don't know. I thought it was still strange, but maybe they probably have some kind of deal with her in her contract, and she needed to get so many minutes on the air in this season. That's all I can think of. Thank you. So apparently, as Chad is saying, that the Hapstall note on the notepad was a filming mistake. That's a pretty big mistake. I don't know how that happened, but for you guys who actually saw it, because I didn't even see it, and I watched that episode twice. So do we know why Oliver wouldn't want to move to Stanford with Connor, asked Stella. See, that's a good question, and I don't know. She thinks he's somehow connected with Annalise and the Keating Five and doesn't want to go away. This is one of these things where we don't have enough information to figure that out, in my opinion. Why her name's important, love the Annalise and her mother scene by the grave. Guys, she's totally going to win a Golden Globe again. That was so, wow. All the stuff that she has done about her baby dying in this half of the season was crazy to me. But anyway, she said his name was Sam. It was heartbreaking, probably not as heartbreaking as the episode before where we had her in the hospital with the dead baby. That was crazy. Anyway, but you know, she's just such a great actress, you know. Yeah, so the Hapstall note, apparently Pete Nowalka said, is a filming mistake. So I don't know, strange. Why did Annalise wait so long before telling the DA the truth about Caleb? That's a good question, because obviously we didn't know, but she knew that Caleb was a serial killer, and she took off to Memphis. I guess she was so distraught about learning that Frank killed Lila instead of Sam that she freaked out, turned off her phone, and went to her mom's. Marge was a bit upset by the episode. Annalise spent too much time at her mother's, and then she turns up at the end of the episode with all the answers. The Keating Five were too much out of the loop for me. Yeah. So I agree. That's my only issue. And apparently it's because of the Cicely Tyson thing, which, like it or not, I don't know. I feel like they had to fulfill her contract or something. But they spent a lot of time at the mom's house. And to me, the mom's a little bit annoying, but I guess she's supposed to be like the cute, quirky, old lady kind of character. I don't know. But I know that really she's probably a character that none of us care about, not to be rude, but she's probably a sweet woman, but I don't think she's important to the story. At least that's what I think so far. So Ben thought the ending was so satisfying with the Caleb reveal. You guys know that I was going to love that because that's what I have been predicting for a while. So, you know, and not just because of that, I thought the very last part of it, the Mahoney scene, did not expect that, you know, did not expect him to, what's going on here? Did not expect him to be shot, you know, and killed. But anyway, who do you really, really hate? Why your name's important. Ben did not like the whole uncle storyline. It felt like a filler. Do you mean her dad? The dad storyline? Vanessa said the episode felt a little slow. Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that drug it down was all the mom stuff, all the stuff at home. Why did Annalise wait to reveal the truth about Caleb? Oh, guys, don't fight in here. Okay, please don't fight among each other. Guys, please. Hopefully we're joking. Yeah, I'm sick of the PLL stuff. And at this point, we don't need to talk about Pretty Little Liars in this chat just because, come on, it ended last week. But anyway, so Brittany says it was a good episode, but I thought it seemed like a regular TV episode. Every other episode was super revealing, and this one wasn't as much. Everything was pretty predictable except the last scene. Yeah, this was not their best finale. Absolutely. So was it terrible? No. Was it, you know, was it super, super shocking? No. Even with the Mr. Mahoney death, it wasn't. But I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I still really liked the show and thought it was a great season overall. And I'm pretty picky, you know that, but I really, I don't know. I can't like be like, oh, I hated it or I didn't like it, because I did. Mark went into a different tab on his laptop during the first half of the episode, and usually only do that during PLL and Quantico. That's how boring it was. Guys, Quantico, and I know that this is not the place for Quantico, but I am struggling with Quantico. We're not going to have a live chat this week, but I'll have my video up tomorrow or tonight, actually, maybe tonight. But I'm very much struggling with that. Like, I was literally lost on the internet when I watched it because I couldn't pay attention. Louise thinks that her mother will die at some point. Agreed. And then her father will have to come to good terms. I agree. I think that's probably going to happen next season, to be honest. And I think they're trying to get her and her mom on good terms. Is this chat like super blurry to you? Because in my preview window, it looks really blurry, and sometimes that just happens, and I don't know why. Did I like season 1 more than 2? Yeah, I thought that it was well, that's hard. Chad tweeted me the Hapstall video. Thank you so much. And another thing to mention, I've gotten some tweets and DMs while I was away. And I'm sorry, it's blurry. I don't know why. I had like so many comments to answer to from the Pretty Little Liars stuff that I might not have gotten back to all of you about this show. And I'm sorry, I need to go back through because I can't even remember at this point who I replied to from the actual tweets. I can tell on DMs. So if you guys tweeted me something I didn't get back, I apologize. So well, I really do, because I usually try to give back to absolutely everyone. Mark was watching Quantico at 2 a.m. and just stopped watching halfway through, didn't even finish the episode. I'm not going to do a live chat for this week's episode, but I'll be back and do on Monday for next week's episode. But I'm starting to think that Louise, it means out of focus. Blurry means out of focus. I am starting to think that Quantico may be something I cover for this season and dump because, to be honest, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm just bored to death with it. Why Your Name is Important thought the finale was incredible. There were expected reveals like Caleb, but then there were shockers such as his death and killing Wes's father was super brave. Love the show. I agree. I mean, I will say that the finale for the first half of this season was crazier. I think that's the best episode they've ever had, where she was begging people to shoot her. Wes actually shot her, not in the place she wanted. I thought that was crazy good. But I didn't have any kind of problems with this. The only thing, and you know, I have so much respect for this show, and it's not because anyone's sponsoring me or anything. The only thing that anyone does is follow me on Twitter. So I think some people sometimes think I'm paid to say certain things about shows. Absolutely not. It's always my honest opinion. I have no affiliations with any shows. But I just have so much respect for them because they always do what they say. They always bring something crazy pretty much in every episode. And the people are super talented who are on the show, the actors and actresses. So I don't know where we're going with Frank. I'm hoping that he's not going to die because I like him, but I'm wondering if we might be going that way for next season. Marge would love the finale if Michaela killed Caleb. The killing was quickly wrapped up. Just a quick scene amidst the Keating Five killing people. I thought that Caleb killing himself was pretty freaking lame. I agree there. Yeah, it made for an interesting scene from the blood aspect, but I would have liked for someone else to kill him, Philip or Catherine or somebody. Is anyone annoyed with how much the show flashes forward and backwards in each episode? I'm getting irritated by it. They need to bring it down a notch. Are you talking about How to Get Away with Murder? Because on Quantico, it does it so much that I don't even know what time we're in. It's really bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that we may see some of these people turn into killers, though, some of the Keating Five. Julie says it wasn't lame. I'm sure it would play out in season 3. Tony says first half of the season was better, but the flashbacks threw me in a loop, but I'm glad everything was tied together. And you know, I think some of these things that we're not so sure about, I mean, obviously it ended on a cliffhanger, so they're going to have to resolve who killed Mr. Mahoney in season 3. But I think some of these other things we'll come back to, and we might learn stuff that we didn't know about. So, but yeah, I was really happy with it. I'm very happy with this show. Definitely one of the best shows on TV. I feel like it's not as popular as other things I cover by far, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know why people haven't gotten into it, but I try to tell everyone I know to watch it if you like these types of shows. So I don't think Catherine would be in jail anymore. I think she should be out, but I don't think she's going to play a role, or at least this character will play a role in next season, because I don't really see the point of it, niece. I like Michaela too. She's funny. Why did Annalise wait after Philip revealed that Caleb is the murderer? This is explained in one of Pete's interviews, says Chad. She did not believe Philip up until Michaela told her that Caleb is the rat. Very good. Thank you so much. There's your explanation. So the Rebecca thing, yes, everyone doesn't know that Bonnie killed Rebecca. Thank you, Louise. That's great. And Asher's father, did he really kill himself, or did someone kill him? Very good. No, Caleb. So Caleb apparently committed suicide, Steffi, and that has been confirmed apparently. Okay. But anyway, I'm interested to find out what Oliver's deal is. Maybe it's not as sinister as I'm hoping, but I don't really understand what he's doing. It seemed very shady. I don't know. What do you guys think? All their problems started because of Wes. Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for Wes in some ways. Honestly, that guy kind of annoys me a bit. But I don't know. Okay, so the catch. When does that start? And I really feel like I'm missing out on the family. I was literally absolutely crazy busy with the 3 different shows going on at once that I was doing for my YouTube channel. But now I have much more time, especially since Quantico is hard to get into, to be, you know, to put it mildly. So I will say about the catch is that I'm a little concerned about it. I love Shonda, but the woman who is the lead was the lead in the show The Killing, and The Killing literally killed me trying to watch that show. I don't know if you guys watched that at all. I can't even remember what channel that used to be on, and it got canceled, and then Netflix picked it up, but I used to watch it, and it just went nowhere fast, and it was literally a time waster, and her character drove me absolutely insane, the woman who's the lead in The Catch. I just wanted to scream and throw something at my TV with her. So just knowing that she's in the show, like, I'm just like, oh my God. But she looks totally different and much better. She like never wore makeup and looked like she just rolled out of bed in every episode of The Killing. So I don't know. Why are names important to the, I don't understand why people hate Annalise. It's everyone around her who are crazy. She's pretty sane and hasn't killed anyone yet. She just protects everyone but gets it wrong sometimes. I agree. I don't dislike her at all. Then they have to have the show. They're never going to kill her off while the show is on. If they ever kill her off, it'll be when the show is completely ending. So The Catch starts Thursday. Okay, that's what I'm going to do Thursday. I'm going to watch it and give it a chance because I definitely need some more shows that are worth my time so that I can do videos on them and do chats on them because Quantico was very disappointing. And knowing that Shonda's behind it is very encouraging. So The Family, I think I've missed quite a few episodes, so I need to see if I can catch up on that. So I have an Orphan Black question. I have really got to think to catch up with Orphan Black. Should I be worried by Helena on the season 3 of Orphan Black? Helena, no. I'll just tell you no. It's interesting what they do with her character. Vanessa loves Annalise, yes. And I'm hoping it's different than The Killing. I think so. I've never seen Castle, but I know everyone likes that. Okay, let's see. Shonda really knows how to create strong, beautiful, sexy, powerful women. Absolutely. And I love what she does about, I'm a huge believer in everyone having equal rights. And it's very important to me that everyone is treated the same and has the same opportunities. And I think she really gets that across in her shows. And I think especially living in America and kind of if you live here and you know what's going on with like the presidential race, sadly there are candidates who, and I'm just going to be on this rant for a little bit, but they think that different people deserve different types of rights, and that's so annoying to me. So I like the fact that she represents, you know, equal rights for everyone. What do I think about Eve? I think that I'm kind of worn out with her character. I don't know what we're doing with that. I don't know if we need, you know, her in this anymore. I don't know. I'm kind of like, do we need her anymore? Mark says doubts that Annalise will ever kill someone. I think the show is going to end with either her in jail or her killing herself. Agree. I don't think she will. I mean, as ruthless, I guess, as she can be sometimes, I really think she has like strong convictions and stuff, and she doesn't want to kill people. And I think they really tried to get that message across when she was dealing with Nate's wife, who was practically begging her to help her with assisted suicide. Marge lives in France, but is following the news. Sad times. Absolutely. This is a very like pivotal time for the United States over the next few months. So that's really not even a topic for the How to Get Away with Murder chat, but it makes me think of that when I watch her and what she does with the show. Julianne, it's okay that you are late. Yes, I really like the finale. I did. And just remember that this video will be up as soon as we're done, like 5 or 10 minutes later. So if you were late or if you had to leave or whatever, then you can totally check it out. Yeah, I mean, this show's so good that we don't have any questions. I think that's great. Someone said I should do, that's something I could think about, is doing Orphan Black videos. And I'm not sure when that comes back again. That's something that has been on for a while. So if you've never watched it, you could definitely catch up. I started watching it late and had to binge it. But, wow, Niece hates Annalise. I think Annalise is a horrible, selfish, manipulative person. She would do anything to win a case. And I think everything that's happening is because of her. But I still kind of like her. Well, yes, I believe in karma, and I think she gets quite a bit of karma back. I'm finding it hard to remember stuff that happened in the finale, so can't come up with questions. That says why our name is important. That's okay. So Orphan Black is back on April 14th. Does anybody besides Louise and Vanessa watch Orphan Black? Because it's good. There have been times, I will say, that it gets a little slow and I get a little exhausted with it. But the girl who plays the lead in Orphan Black is phenomenal. And I don't think she's ever won any awards, and I don't know how, because she literally plays like 6 or 7 people. in the series, and everyone is so distinct that you don't even realize it's her. What do I think is up with Oliver? There's been so many shady hints about him. Mark, I think that this type of show doesn't play games. So I don't think they're just, making him look shady and then they're going to just be like playing with this. And he's actually, what he's doing behind the scenes is being like the world's best boyfriend. I think there is something shady going on. So I think we're going to see more of that in season 3. Louise loves Tatiana Maslany. Tatiana Maslany plays the lead in Orphan Black. And we're totally going off of topic here. Hopefully that's okay. She should definitely win an Emmy or a Golden Globe or something. I believe she was nominated for something one time, and I was so pulling for her. But you know what? Orphan Black is one of these shows, and I think it's on, what channel is that on? Like BBC or something? It's one of those shows that doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Like, I don't understand. It's really underrated. I agree that Scream is good. Now, Scream's coming back May 31st. I was a really big fan. We'll have to see what they do. Sometimes it's very hard to pull off a second season with these types of mystery shows. Yes, it's on BBC America. My favorite song of How to Get Away with Murder, I don't know them by name. I really like the ending song for this episode, and I know a lot of people on Twitter liked it just in general because I saw people asking, like, what is that song? Can I explain how Annalise knew or found out about Frank and Sam's deal to keep quiet about killing the baby? I'm pretty sure Bonnie told her near the very end of the finale. I think that's exactly when she found out. Charles, we got to watch the language in here. Okay. Have I watched Slasher? No. I've got to figure out how to watch it. Some of you have told me because I have DirecTV, but apparently I don't have the on-demand or something's not right with it because I can't get that to work. Slasher has lost its suspense feel. Uh-oh. Well, I really do want to watch it. And then someone sent me like an episode, and then I just haven't had time. Not an episode, but like a website where I can watch episodes, and then I haven't had time. So it's really not because I'm trying to not watch it. Like, I really do want to watch it. Absolutely. So anyway, the lead actress on Scream doesn't bother me that much. I don't know. There's something I kind of like about her. Well, let me know if Slasher keeps sucking, then I won't waste my time because there's nothing worse than a show where it starts off great like Quantico and then it just starts dragging. So Charles thinks Wes causes all the problems. Some stuff about him. By the way, I like those monkeys. That's cute. Some stuff about him annoys me. I don't think it's the actor. I just think it's the character. He's kind of mopey and stuff. But then I start thinking like, oh my gosh, he's been through so much stuff that I don't know. He's had a hard life. So Why Our Name's Important says let's focus on Annalise and Wes next season, please. I know Viola is awesome, but I'd like to see the Keating 5 more, especially Connor and Michaela. I agree. Okay, thank you. I'll check that link out, or maybe you need to send it again, Vanessa, because I think it's buried somewhere if you sent it last week. I do feel bad for Wes. Wes has had a crazy bad life, guys. Come on. I mean, he saw his mom after she had killed herself and everything. I don't know. He's had a hard life. His dad is an evil, evil person who is now dead. You can't live your life and be like, well, I don't think he's a terrible person, but you can't, blame all your problems in life because you had a bad childhood. But I just think he's a little bit messed up. Wes's actor mom is Brazilian. I love him as a person, but Wes, no. So Wes, the actor's mom, is Brazilian. There you go. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I don't really like Wes as the character. Something about him. He's always upset or depressed or something, I guess. The night manger or manager? I haven't heard of that. Why Our Names hates Wes. Yeah, I mean, he's a bit annoying. So Tony says Michaela's character and plot line was weak compared to last season. Yeah, I mean, she had a lot of drama when she found out like her fiance was gay and all of that, and then lost her ring. She had quite a big season, but I think maybe they're going to switch around, like focus on different people, because it seemed like Laurel had such a huge focus this season, and maybe next season another Keating 5 member will have more of a focus. I feel like I've heard of the night manager. I don't know. I feel like that sounds familiar. I really apologize about the quality. I hope it's not as bad as what it looks like on my end, because on my end, I look like pixelated or something. I don't understand these Google chats. They really need to work on the technical issues, because sometimes it just doesn't work. Marge loved Asher and Michaela re-hooking up this episode, even though it kind of didn't happen. They're a weird match and the scene was funny. So Why Our Name's Important says it's interesting to see how they've left the truth behind Rebecca's death a secret. I think that could blow up in Wes's face. when he least expects it. Well, you know for sure that that's going to come out, because that's one thing that really has bothered me about Annalise, because she's lied so many times about Rebecca's death. Just wait till that comes out, and that's going to give Wes another reason to hate Annalise. Do I like Masher or Basher? Well, Bonnie really drives me insane. So why is there, I mean, I don't know. At first I thought Bonnie and Asher together were just ridiculous, but now I think Michaela and Asher are a bit ridiculous, and I kind of like Bonnie and Asher together, so I don't know. Connor and Michaela's stories and lines this season were poor, says Louise. Why Our Name's Important, says Pete Nowalk has said he'd like to explore Laurel's relationship with her father next season and find out more. I would like that for all of the K5. I think that would be great to get more of a background on the people we don't know much about, because we know a lot about Wes's background, but not so much with the others. Louise, I can understand everything you're saying. It's perfect. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Julie. So Vera saw some very interesting guesses about who killed Wes's dad. Well, let me know. Something that I usually do, and I haven't had time to do for this season finale, is I usually like to go to the How to Get Away with Murder Facebook page and read everyone's theories there, like as soon as the episode airs, because I just kind of get, you know, ideas. But I really don't do that much anymore, because I feel like I kind of just do that with you guys, like bounce ideas off of you. I'm not a huge fan of Eve's either, but I see that some people love her and some people don't really care and some people don't like her. Erin, that's okay that you're late. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I mean, I like the Keating Five, and I'm really glad that they're all still alive at this point. But they did really, really focus on Annalise and Wes this season, which was a little bit too much, really. So Marge says, also needed to say that Pete Nowalk is a kind of hot. You know, I don't know how old the guy is, but I saw his picture on Twitter, and I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, well, you're not bad looking for a behind the scenes guy. But then I started thinking like maybe he's 50 or something. I don't know. Like I couldn't tell how old he was, but you know, whatever. Aaron says, yes, the guy who plays Oliver, Conrad is his first name, is a season or a series regular, which is great. He was very excited about that on Twitter. Julian thinks that maybe Eve killed Wes's father. Wow. That maybe because remember, Wes did go to talk to her, and we don't really know what they talked about. So that's interesting. Why Our Names thinks that Bonnie will come out of the show as the craziest character. I could see her killing Annalise in the end, or worse. I do feel like I think she's probably way more insane than we know, and we still don't really know what actually went down with her and Sam. Pretty sure they had an affair, but I don't even know what all is going on there. Gokai is wondering which of the Keating Five will survive until the very, very end. That should be interesting. Yeah, so do you guys have any more questions or comments about this episode? I keep getting us off track. Tony thinks that Laurel killed Wes's dad. Okay, so I mean, the only thing about that wasn't she roaming around Frank's apartment looking for him? I felt like that was going on at the same time, but I don't know. I do feel like Oliver is really shady. I don't really know what he's doing. Aaron thinks he's hiding things for Connor. I'm not sure. The actress playing Bonnie is great. She was on Scandal. She was on that other show too, Gilmore Girls. I think the actress, and her name's Liza, can't remember what her last name is, but I think she is incredible. As much as I don't really like her character, I think she is incredible. Nerd was wishing someone big had died. We thought they might go there. They didn't. I promise you they will in the future. This show is not going to be a show that just kills off minor characters forever. Maybe Nate killed Wallace Mahoney. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options out there. So Mark says Michaela has had 2 boyfriends, one who turned out gay and another one who was a murderer. She also was hooking up with that ex guy, and I don't know what his deal was. She is like Emily on Pretty Little Liars, because she has very bad luck in the love department. I don't watch Hit the Floor. I've actually never heard of that. Yeah, like Nerd saying, she's had bad luck with guys, definitely. Oliver's hiding things from Connor. He's definitely hiding things from Connor. And him making that phone call to the school, to Stanford, and saying he was Connor is enough for someone to break up with you. I think that is terrible. So maybe Annalise's words, he has to go, was meant to Wes's father. I don't know, because I watched it twice and it really did seem like she wanted Frank to be fired. But I don't know. Maybe I should watch it a third time because you just never know. So this is a fun fact for me. Thank you, Why Your Name's Important. Pete said he originally wanted Bonnie to be a fun, bubbly, overweight character who would have a silly girl crush on Sam, but Liza blew him away with her direction for Bonnie. That is really interesting. And I feel like the woman who plays Bonnie, really was like different looking in Scandal, right? Didn't she look like totally different? Steffi says maybe Laurel's dad killed someone on the team just to be shocking. I don't know what his connection is going to be, what his backstory is going to be, but something's going to be, I think that's going to be pretty big when we find out about him. Was Frank the one in the truck that crashed into Annalise's car? No, Gokai, it wasn't, but basically he planted a listening device in Annalise's hotel room, and because of that, somebody working for Mahoney was able to crash the car, and they were trying to kill her, I think. Yeah, she did look totally different on Scandal, Marge. That's what I thought. So Julian says, why did Frank look at Wes like he thought, like that when he was talking to Laurel, he looks like he might kill him? I don't know. I didn't catch that. Chad's asking, is it possible that ABC will cancel the show? Well, it's been renewed for season 3, so I don't know. Are the ratings terrible now? I don't know, because I thought it was, good enough to get them renewed. So she was supposed to be a dumb blonde, Bonnie, but now she's very intelligent yet very conniving. A movie called Lila and Eve. It's Viola Davis and Jennifer Lopez movie. I haven't seen that, actually. Interesting. Why Your Names for some reason thought Frank was driving the car. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because you see Mahoney on the phone saying, take care of it, and he got paid a bunch of money to plant that listening device. But I don't know. Am I wrong? Was Frank the one driving? Can anyone confirm that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've totally missed that. Wow, because he did get paid a ton of money. Wow. Maybe yeah, Frank probably does have a kid somewhere, Steffi. I need to figure this out now. So was Frank the one who hit her? Because now he's worse than I even thought. Wow. I just thought he got paid to put that like bugging device in her hotel room. I don't know. I didn't get that from it. I wonder if Eve will eventually be revealed to be involved in something and gets killed. I don't know. I mean, I feel like at this point they've kind of done enough with her character, but maybe she's more involved in things than we knew. Does Annalise know that Frank was involved in the car crash? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in an indirect way, Bonnie explained it to her near the end, although they didn't really show all of that. I think that's what happened. That was the money from his suitcase. We got paid all that money because he planted the listening device, but I didn't think he was paid to be the driver. Niece thinks Frank wasn't the one driving. He would never do that. He didn't think it would go that far. That's what I think. But then Aaron thinks that he told Sam in the hospital that he was the one driving the car. So I'm going to have to watch that part again because I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I took it as that he was just the one who tipped them off so they could listen to her and see what she was going to do. And then Mahoney ordered for someone to take care of it and go hit her. But I don't know. Nate and Annalise might have a baby together. I don't know. I see them getting together. It seems like they will. I really like that, so I'm cool with that. Do I think they'll ever top the last winter's finale, says Chad? Yeah, I do, because this show's so good. They'll come up with something better. Who will Annalise end up with in the end, Nate or Eve? Not a fan of Eve, but then Annalise never smiles when she's with Nate, except when he slams her against the wall. It was really funny because she did an interview on Jimmy Kimmel a couple of weeks ago, and she says, and I think one of these sex scenes that we saw where she was slammed against the wall, she severely injured her back, like threw out her back because he had thrown her so hard. So that was kind of not funny for her, but kind of a funny story. I really like Nate, and for any of you guys who watch Dexter, he had a pretty big role a couple of seasons on Dexter. I won't say what happened to him because maybe you haven't seen it, but I also liked this actor on Dexter, so I was really happy to see him on this show. Niece doesn't like Nate, which is great about this show is that a lot of people are just divided about which characters they like and which characters they don't like. I don't think Annalise's family knows about Eve, and if they do, they probably don't know that she was like Annalise's girlfriend. So Mark says in episode 14, Sam said to Annalise in the hospital that they caught the driver. Then we had the flashback with Frank and Sam, so maybe it was him. Sam was probably covering it up. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping I mean, obviously they didn't make it clear enough because I've missed it twice. So I have it on DVR. So when we're done here, I'm going to watch and see like what is up with that, because I still don't know. I don't know. Maybe they didn't make it clear though. I'm not sure. Why Our Name says, I think they're confused about Annalise's sexuality. Make up your mind already. I want Annalise to be single. It's when she's the strongest. Yeah, I don't know why we kind of keep going back and forth with that, but I agree. It's like, well, I don't know. I think they just like to have some romantic drama in the show pretty much. So now I'm freaking out because I don't know if Frank was the one who actually hit her, because at that point I feel like he's like the worst person in the world, because I thought he was just paid to bug her hotel room, and he never ever knew that she, they wanted her to be killed or her baby to die. And I think that, what he was supposed to do was whoever hit her was actually supposed to kill her, so I don't know. Oh, it's okay, Erin. It's, we're almost done here anyway. Don't worry about it. Again, this will be back on my channel in a few minutes. So something is off with Nate. Well, Julie, they could have a shocker there and have him be some bad guy. You just never know. I don't know what will be the season 3 plot. I think it will definitely be a brand new story. Like we had the Lila story in the first season, the Hapstall case in the second. I think there'll be something that we really can't predict because they're going to invent it. But then again, they'll tie in stuff that they've used in the other seasons. Marge hopes there will be new trials on season 3. That's something they kind of got away from, and sometimes I get bored with those, so I was okay with it. But it seemed like in the first season, every episode had like the side cases that didn't carry over to the next episode. So we might see more of that in season 3, or they might get away from it. I don't know. We had a few of them like in season 2, but we didn't have as many as we had in season 1. Well, I think we've talked about as much as we can about the finale, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for talking with me just a couple of, or 2 or 3 or 4 days later than the finale. I love that you guys still came to this even though it wasn't at its normal time, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to have my video which recaps the finale and gives my final thoughts up tomorrow. Let me read some more questions here. Do I think Caleb was murdered, says Erin? No, they said that somebody said from the show that he definitely killed himself. So I need to find out about the Frank thing because it's going to drive me crazy, but I'm thinking it's going to be something that's not clear. So I'll have to go with my gut. Now at this point, before I watched it a third time, I thought that he wasn't the driver, but he just tipped the people off, and he never thought that he would be killing someone. Who do I think shot Mahoney? Shower Harvey definitely did it. It was definitely Big Bad Uber A. Yes, I will check out your tweet, Chad, about the Hapstall recap. Thank you for sending me that. And Deja thinks that Frank feels guilty because if he hadn't planted the bug, this wouldn't have happened. That's what I think, but let me check it out one more time to see if it's like, but they may end up explaining it more next season, but I feel like he was not the driver. He just feels bad because it went that far. Why Our Name's important, how to dream. What did you dream about? But if you are new here and you just happened upon this video when it, or you're in the live show, and this is your first time and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate that. There's other shows I cover. Most of them are mysteries, or maybe all of them. So you might watch those, or you might decide to watch those, and you can follow along with me on those because I always have a great time trying to figure out who is doing what in these shows. Thank you, niece. I appreciate it. I had a dream that Shower Harvey was revealed as Uber A. I hope that dream doesn't come true because that would truly be the death of the show, and I think everyone would hate it at that point. So yeah, I'm going to check out this episode again to try to figure out if Frank was the driver or what, because that's a huge part of the story if that's the case that I missed. So yeah, we can try to do Orphan Black. I'm down for that. We'll see how that goes over. If I get, a few people that are interested, we'll try to do that. But yeah, I need to try to figure out if Frank was that driver or not. But I just want to thank you guys so much for being here and for being here all of season 2 of How to Get Away with Murder. And I hope you're back for season 3 because I will be. And I just think you're the greatest, and I love you guys so much, and thank you for supporting me in my videos. And this video will be up in about 5 or 10 minutes after we're done here, so if you came in late, you can watch what you hadn't seen. So I will see you guys soon with the Quantico video, and How to Get Away with Murder is definitely coming tomorrow. And have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.